Like strawberry wine, 7. Oh hey, my name's Ryan. I'm on my way to the gym and we're gonna do an exercise variation that is going to help us improve our starting position in the Olympic lifts and improve our strength within those positions. Here we go. So before we get to the gym, there's two things that I want to touch on in regards to the starting position and why improving your starting position and your strength there is so incredibly important. The first is that your starting position in any lift reveals a lot about the depth of your understanding of how to go about that lift. So not even talking about the Olympic lifts right now, but if I was watching you squat and when you picked up the barbell off the rack, if you lacked tightness there, if you didn't take in a big breath there, your walkout was uneven and the bar is extremely shaky on your back and you're not taking in correct breaths, these are all things that are just gonna let me know that you haven't spent that much time underneath the barbell, and that's okay, right? Those things will iron themselves out over time. Similarly, with the Olympic lifts, if you're starting with the barbell way out in front of you, if you are not flattening out that natural kyphotic spine in your upper back, if you're getting set up like a deadlift, if you're trying to yank the bar right off of the ground, these are all things that are just gonna tell me that you haven't spent that much time doing the Olympic lifts, and that's okay. Again, those things will iron themselves out with experience. But if you set up in a really nuanced starting position that you have really done some sifting through and combing through and have made the starting position your own, well then that tells me that you have a lot of experience with the Olympic lifts and that you have pretty good in-depth understanding of how to go about them. So just on the surface level, a good starting position is a solid indicator of really in-depth understanding. And secondarily, a concept that I talk about all the time on this channel and on my Instagram is readiness. And readiness is your ability to perform on any given day. Readiness is influenced by so many things, right? It is influenced by your previous night's sleep, and that previous night's sleep. It's influenced by your nutrition. It's influenced by stress, work stress, relationship stress. It's influenced by your training stress and how much fatigue that you're currently under. And so how you perform on any given day is this amalgamation of all of those other things leading up to that, right? And hopefully this isn't too big of a leap, but any aspect of an Olympic lift, right? Like the third pull, second pull, first pull, any given moment in those pulls was influenced by the previous moment and how you were interacting with that moment, and kinematically and kinetically what your body was doing in those moments. And it all starts from the starting position. So if you start with a really bad starting position, even if you really know what you're doing in the Olympic lifts, it's going to be so much more difficult to end up in good positions downstream. So just like how if you take care of yourself outside of the gym and you do a good job of managing all of your stressors in your life, that training session that day of is going to be so much better. If you have a really good starting position that is nuanced and works for you, then everything downstream from that starting position is going to be that much better as well. Okay, so now that we have a decent perspective to view this training session from and why we're doing what we're doing, I'll see you at the gym in just a few. Yoo! Alright, gonna start my first set at 275, and we'll just keep adding weight with each set, small jumps, 10 to 20 pounds or so. And I'm not gonna let the weight exceed my capacity to hold that good 3-second emphasis at the beginning. So let's get this thing started and see how it goes. good indicator of how this is going, and if I'm being successful outside of, can I maintain that 3-second pause, is when I am coming out of that pause, are my hips rising without the harmonious extension of my knees? And if so, then I need to focus a little bit more and try to get that going. So I want to come out of this almost as if I'm doing a high bar squat. Just a nice athletic looking position, as opposed to a more hingy position where it looks like I'm about to deadlift. Great cue for this is to get your, is to pretend that you're a rocket ship, and that during your pause you're getting those flux capacitors going. I don't know what a rocket ship has in terms of like making a blast off. Blasters maybe? Who knows? Flux capacitor sounds good. And then after that 3 count, you just give it everything you have. I know I'm probably not going for 3 seconds. It's more of a 3 count. So like a count is 1, 2, 3. Seconds when lifting weights exists in a different time and dimension, you know what I mean? Kind of like you're entering the multiverse. All right, Ride Dog, let's get some here, big guy. All right, we're gonna go 5 more pounds. We're gonna try to really power this rep, meaning I'm gonna try to stop that bar right when I catch it and not allow that bar to pull me down at all. It's gonna take a lot of focus, a lot of grit, but I think with the right attitude, we can do this. That one was right on the line of being a power or not. I got one more good one in me. Come on. The final aspect of this is that when you're performing lifts like this, lifting weights in general, most of the time, outside of, like bodybuilding exercises, things are happening so quickly and there's so much going on that hopefully much of the movement is coming from a subliminal level, that you practice the movement so much that it's happening automatically. Like there are literally systems in the brain that will allow you to perform motor actions without your conscious attention on every little aspect, so long as you're experienced enough. Part of that is proprioception, just like an understanding of where your body is in space, right? And I don't have to think about where exactly that bar is in relation to the ground because I know how long my legs are. And I know implicitly where exactly I want to pause the bar such that the weights are just, a fraction off the ground. So theoretically, another tool to just enhance proprioception. Gave it the old college try, huh? If your starting position is good, everything else is more inclined to be good as well. Training is fun.